Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're looking at a Stunfisk card, and the very first thing I need to tell you guys today is, I told you so. We'll get more into the card in a moment, but the other day I showed you Black Belt, and when I showed you Black Belt, I said, look, we have had a couple of fighting type Stunfisk that use lightning energy. I'm sure at some point in the future we will get a lightning type Stunfisk that uses fighting energy. And you can see from the screen on the card there, ladies and gentlemen, that has happened. Yay! Given what Black Belt did in previous Stunfisk, it wasn't exactly the most difficult prediction to make ever, but I'm still just a little bit proud of myself. But boasting about knowing it was coming is all well and good. What does it actually do? I should mention that our translation here comes from the lovely David Hochmann over at limitlesstcg.com/translations. And if we start off having a little bit of a look at the basics here, it's got 90 HP, which is very low, but in expanded, or in the case of a reprint, that does give us access to level ball, which could be worse. Retreat cost of 1 is nice and low because of the whole escape board thing. Plus, you've got a single energy attack. You've got a resistance to metal here, which is not the most relevant thing ever. Maybe something like Registeel comes along and you can just sit there and tank against him, and that's all well and good. And then, weakness to fighting. Now, the weakness to fighting is a bit of a pain, because you've got both the Buzzwole here that do a natural 30 damage without any kind of modification. But then, of course, they're all playing Dynasty Prism Star, and then you're weak, and they'll do 100, and you'll go down, and that'll be very sad. Boo, hiss, etc. But you are a Lightning-type Pokemon. That means you have access to Electro Power to do extra damage. And to be honest, that's pretty much it in terms of the extra tricks. Usually I'd say Thunder Mountain, but that doesn't work because your attack cost doesn't cost lightning energy. And usually I'd say Tapu Koko Prism Star, but your attack cost doesn't cost lightning energy. But we do have the aforementioned Black Belt here. I should probably tell you what it does, shouldn't I? Well, if you're behind on prizes, Black Belt reduces the attack cost of the Pokemon to which it is attached by a single fighting energy. And of course, the whole point here is, hey, I'm playing a lightning deck. I'm playing lightning Pokemon. I don't want to play fighting energy, that's alright. You can play Black Belt and you don't have to. We'll get more into that in a minute. We should see what the attack does first of all. Cheers, David. 1 fighting energy, 30 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon has more HP remaining than this Pokemon, you do 60. That is extremely relevant. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I expect to see a whole bunch of Stunfisk in a whole bunch of decks. Now, one of the things to remember here, it uses fighting energy, but it is a lightning type. So you're not hitting weakness on stuff like Pikarom here, which is a little bit sad. What you are doing is essentially getting a free attack. Because one of the things I love about this is in lightning decks, you are likely to be playing Volkner. You don't have to, but most of them are playing 1 or 2 copies. Let's you search for a basic lightning energy and an item card. So what you can do is, if you're behind on prizes, the item card you choose to search for just so happens to be a Black Belt, you attach it, and you're attacking for free. That's nice. And one of the great things about this is, if you're playing a lightning deck, it just gives you a free attacker. To be fair, this actually gives you a free attacker in any deck. You just need to be able to find the Black Belt. And we've got Macargo nowadays. Searches it and puts it on top of your deck. We've got Green Search, and we will by the time this comes out. If you've got no Pokemon in play with abilities, you get to search for any 2 item cards, trainer cards, and put them onto your hand. Into your hand. You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. The point is that if you're not playing abilities, Green Search has got your back, or Macargo's got your back in any deck. Obviously, Macargo's got an ability, don't use them together. Or you've got Volkner. And what this does is it gives you a lightning-type Pokemon where you don't need to be playing lightning energy. Now look, clearly this is better in a lightning deck. And one of the reasons it is better, we're going to have a look in a moment, but you've got Electro Power. We're going to look at the numbers in a moment, but just for now, you do an extra 30 damage for every Electro Power you play. But if you're just randomly putting this into another deck, you're probably not going to be able to fit Electro Power in as well. So in a non-lightning deck, it's fine. 60 for 0 energy is still okay, but you're away from kind of stunning territory here. It's not amazing. It's good, but it's not amazing. Now, if you are hitting Lightning Weakness, let's take Ho-Oh. Is that the most relevant Lightning Weak Pokemon at the moment? There really aren't very many. You're hitting 60, and look, they're going to have more HP remaining than you. Unless something's gone drastically wrong. So now you're hitting 60, but you had a choice band and you're hitting 90. But then, of course, they're weak, so you're hitting 180. You will need a Shrine of Punishment to get the KO, but a lot of decks are playing Shrine of Punishment and every deck's playing choice band, so you could potentially use this as a Ho-Oh counter. We're not really in a format at the moment where an awful lot of people are actually playing Ho-Oh, or indeed any Lightning Weak Pokemon. But maybe we will be in the future. The thing to remember is that these cards tend to be legal for a couple of years. So even if you're not hitting a relevant weakness now, there's an extremely good chance that you will be hitting a relevant weakness in the not too distant future. I mean, there was a long period of time where you could say, hey, Darkness Weakness, that's great, there's no good Darkness Pokemon. And then Zoroark GX came out. And then I actually said that in a video or two after Zoroark came out. People called me silly, and I would say, rightly so. And I think that is the best use for Stunfisk here. Put it in a deck that isn't playing Lightning Pokemon, with a Black Belt or two, and then against a Lightning Weak deck, you're off. And you're attacking for 0 energy. That's really quite nice. And if not now, in the future when Lightning Weakness is more relevant. The thing is, we've talked about a bunch of Pokemon recently, like Thundurus for instance, that are really good at getting KOs on evolving Pokemon for small amounts of energy. That is not the case here. Remember, you only do 30 if you've got the same amount of or more HP than your opponent. Your opponent's got to have more HP remaining than you in order for you to actually do the 60 damage. That's a very bad thing, ladies and gentlemen, because it means that you're basically never going to be getting KOs on these evolving Pokemon. It's a little bit sad, but that's the way it is. It's not for that. Now, the other use for this is just in a Lightning deck. Just use it to hit a decent amount in a Lightning deck. Now, bearing in mind, if you're playing a Lightning deck, you are probably going to be playing Electro Power. And if you're playing a Lightning deck, you're probably going to be playing Volkner to search out the Black Belt. And this just gives you a decent low energy attacker. It's not going to hit a huge amount, unless you start really piling up the Electro Power. So let's have a look at the numbers quickly. You start off hitting 60, with one Electro Power in 90. The problem is, against a 90 HP Pokemon like Macago, they've got the same amount as you, so you'd actually need 2 Electro Power to get that KO, which is kind of awkward. But let's say you're against a bigger Pokemon. You start off with 60, that's quite nice. And then you add a Choice Band, you're up to 90. 3 Electro Power, 180, down goes Tapu Lele, Blacephalon, etc. Although at this stage, some of you have probably noticed a fallacy with that plan. Yeah, that relies on you having Choice Band. Well, the problem is you're not going to have Choice Band because you're going to be using Black Belt. So actually, we just need to increase the number of Electro Power by 1. So you can get a one-hit KO on a Tapu Lele as long as you're playing 4 Electro Power. And at that stage, I'm not that much of a fan of this. Honestly, if I wanted to play it in a Lightning deck, I'd probably rather just play the Forbidden Light Buzzwole, or another single energy fighting Pokemon, with a Black Belt to take advantage of that and hit for weakness. I think the number one use for Stunfisk is, oh, they're weak to Lightning, let me use a Stunfisk and a Black Belt in any deck. And that's not relevant right now, but it might be in the future. As it stands, Lightning is the wrong type to be hitting. If you want a fighting Pokemon for 1 energy, you can find better. And if you want a Lightning Pokemon to start piling Electro Power on, I think you can do better. I think in the future, when Lightning weakness is relevant, this could be a great tech in a whole bunch of decks, because you can whack it in with a Black Belt or 2 and use it in any deck without playing any Lightning energy. As it stands at the moment, I'm not a huge fan of this. I'm going to be giving it 3 Wassies, because I think this is a kind of Pokemon you need to have in your binder for the future, just in case, to get ready. So there we go. But I would very much like to know what you think about this. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. But please do remember the rule, ladies and gentlemen. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about games that don't have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.